Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast here in beautiful, sunny Sarasota, Florida. Welcome, everyone. We're so glad that you could be with us today, either in person here at the Bayfront Community Center, or if you're joining us online, special welcome to you virtually as well, whether you're here right now in the present moment with us or sometime in the future. We're really glad to have you joining us. I'm Kathleen Frankert. I'm a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the center, and it's my honor to greet you today with Namaste. Namaste is Sanskrit and means the divinity in me recognizes and honors the divinity in you. And I mentioned that some of you were joining us virtually, so I'm just going to take a moment to talk to you who are joining us that way. Just to remind you, we've had a couple comments come about not being able to see a full screen or not being happy with the view that you have on your device, whether that's your iPad, your phone, your laptop. And just know that in either Facebook or YouTube, there are two views available. So you have to look on your screen and find the alternate view and click on that, and then you should be good to go. So apologize if there's been any little technical glitch around that, but it's cared for now, and we hope that improves your ability to see and be with us today, just exactly the way you want to see and be with us. So thank you for taking a moment to do that. Today, our minister and founding minister and spiritual director, Reverend Theresa is with us. And this month we have been looking at the whole idea of fear, and more specifically around the fear and the furious, which is sort of an interesting combination. And today, so every week, we've been looking at different ways that fear shows up, how we manage it, how we look at it, how we grow in it, how we utilize it, how we embrace it, and just some better ways to capture the energy that is often the underlying experience of fear. Today, Reverend Theresa's topic is you, me, and our fears, and the relationship of fear. So I think that we're in for a great conversation, a great message today, so look forward to that. Joining us as our musical inspiration is our beloved member and musician and all-around just wonderful human being, Phil Lieber. Have you ever been called an all-around wonderful human being before? It's the first time for everything, Phil. And you live up to that, so thank you. Thank you for being here. Our musicians are so wonderful, and I know that every time they get up, it looks like so effortless, and you think, oh, this is just how they breeze in and do a service for us, but there are hours of preparation and performance and years beyond that, so we are the beneficiaries, and we are so grateful for you and all of our musicians who honor us with their gifts every Sunday. Yes, thank you. Well-deserved applause. And Phil's going to absorb that on the behalf of all of our musicians, so thank you for that. So with that, let's take this moment now to just settle in and go within. And if it's comfortable, closing the outer eyes or softening your focus. And recognize with me that at the center of everything and everyone, every condition, every circumstance, everything, there is only one thing. And it is Spirit, God, the divine, by whatever name. It is that expressing through our individual presence as our collective presence, as the world we encounter in our relationships with ourselves, with each other. In that one presence, in that one divinity, is all the good ever available. It is us expressing as that good. We are that. So let us take this moment to inquire, what good wants to express as me today? What good wants to express as me today? How does good want to show up? How does Spirit want to dance and delight this day as me? How does Spirit want to walk this path with me today, as me today? And I invite you to take that awareness, that the answer to that question, into your awareness and into your thoughts and into your intention for your participation today. Because you see, even though it seems like you're sitting and receiving, you are also participating. You are also bringing out of yourself something new, some new awareness, some new understanding of this divinity to take out into the world. And that's no small thing. That is a beautiful, wonderful experience of life that we get to individually and collectively explore and experience today. So let's celebrate that. Let's give great gratitude for that. Let's welcome that and know that there is always more. There is always more good. There is always more God. And there's always more to be grateful for. And so it is. Welcome, Phil Lieber.
You know, I think all of us probably have had thoughts about the consequences of things we've done and things that we're experiencing now in life, or consequences of what we did earlier. And sometimes we just wish we could go back and do it again. You ever had that thought? You know? Well, yeah. And I got to thinking about that a few months back actually, and started wondering about that in the context of our belief system here at CSL. And would I actually be back for another chance? And if I am going to come back and have another chance, maybe it'll be better. And so I started thinking, oh, well, it's about coming back. It's about coming back. And then all of a sudden I realized, no, it's not that at all. It's about being at peace with myself here now that makes the difference. And that resulted in doing some writing and coming up with this song. What started as a whisper slowly turned into a cry. Searching for an answer, asking God the reason why. I don't know where I come from, and I don't know where I've gone. Old friends become old strangers between the darkness and the dawn. Will I have another chance at life? Can I find a new place within to start my journey again? Well, I've heard it said so many times, all of life is just a game. Every moment lingers more when someone calls my name. I've wandered through 100 roads from the rising of the day till the evening sky explodes with stars and takes my breath away. Will I have another chance in life? Can I find a new place within? Start my journey again. Well, I've listened to a whisper slowly drift away, since silence is the loudest word that I will ever say. I put the world into my veins. Now a voiceless symphony is all that remains. Will I have another chance at life? Can I find a new place within? Start my journey again. Well, I walked along the shoreline where the broken pieces gleam, each step a fading echo of a long-forgotten dream. The wind, it tells a story I once called my home. Every truth I held too close has vanished with the foam. Will I have another chance at life? Can I find a new place within? Start my journey again. Will I have another chance at life? Well, I found a new peace within, and I greet the dawn with open eyes, no longer lost in what has been. Yes, I have another chance at life. I found a new peace within, and I greet the dawn with open eyes, no longer lost in what I've been.
Thank you, Phil Lieber, an all-around wonderful person. That was beautiful. And thank you, Kathleen, another all-around wonderful human being. My name is Angelica Redleaf, and I'll be your reader today. And I'm very excited to share both of these readings with you. The first one is a very, very short poem from the book Love Poems from God. And it's a poem written by Hafiz, a Sufi mystic poet who lived in the 1400s. It's very short and it's so gorgeous. The title is, How Did the Rose? How did the rose ever open its heart and give to this world all of its beauty? It felt the encouragement of light against its being. Otherwise, we all remain too frightened. I'm going to give this to you. The next, it's actually today's reading from Science of Mind magazine. And the month of August, all of it was created, put together by Reverend Kelly Robbins. And I think you're going to like this. The title is The Small Self versus Our True Self. How many of you read that today in the magazine? Okay, cool. The first quote is by Marie Curie. Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more, so that we may fear less. The next quote is Ernest Holmes. Life waits on our discovery of natural laws, our discovery of ourselves, and our discovery of our relationship to the great whole. Ready? Okay. The small self or ego is the mask we wear in public. This is the part of us that fears rejection and is shaped by society's standards. It judges us and others, and it influences how we view the world. Our appearance, education, job, money, and success, they're all tied to the ego. Fear stems from this small self. In contrast, we also have a part of ourselves whose power is immeasurable and exists in a state of its innate awareness, of its oneness with spirit. Our true self understands our unconditional connection to the divine and to each other. It knows wholeness and oneness are innate and irrevocable. This self sees opportunity, grows, and loves freely, recognizing itself as a spiritual being with endless potential. When facing fear, the true self responds with honesty and care, knowing it belongs to something greater. Our true self is unchangeable and harmonious, loving unconditionally and in perfect harmony with all. Though we may struggle to act from this place, knowing ourselves as one with God is the great adventure of the human experience. When I am afraid, I particularly struggle to see from my true self. I find that if I can take a breath and dive into an affirmative prayer, I can tap the unwavering rhythm of the universe, find myself, and move forward in a position of unity and oneness with confidence and love. And the affirmation is, I speak, act, and love from my true self, the powerful place of my divinity.
Thank you. The theme of this month being fear, and Rev. Theresa told me that today there might be a little bit of fear and anger in the world, and how do we get through that? In the presence of that fear and anger, how do we get through it, and what do we do with it? And with a little help from my friends, I wrote a song and put it together, and hopefully bringing the message that that Theresa has in her heart about fear and anger. In the presence of fear and anger, when the night forgets the dawn, when every step feels heavy and the strength to hope seems gone, I stand and hear the silence beneath the rising storm, where something deep within me still remembers who I am. Fear would have me wander through the shadows of the mind. Anger would have me carry every route through endless time. But neither is my master neither owns my soul. They only point toward places still waiting to be made whole. In the presence of fear and anger, I choose another way. Turn my fear to faith, turn my rage to grace. The light within is steady, though hidden for a while. It leads me through the darkness, one heartbeat, one breath, 1 mile. There is no shame in trembling, no weakness in the tears. The strongest hearts are open by walking through their fears. Each scar becomes a teacher, each trial leaves a trace, until compassion blossoms in every broken place. As I choose forgiveness, the weight begins to fall. Walls I built for shelter no longer stand so tall. Fire that once consumed me becomes a warming flame, illuminating every step. I realize who I am. In the presence of fear and anger, I stand with open hands. Turn my faith to fear, turn my fear to faith, and turn my rage to grace. The light within grows brighter with every choice I make. Love becomes my compass, hope is the path I take. In the presence of fear and anger, I stand with open hands. I turn my fear to faith and turn my rage to grace. The light within grows brighter with every choice I make. Love becomes my compass, hope is the path I take.
Wow, 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 wow. Wow. God, Phil. And now I'm supposed to talk. And I didn't wear the waterproof. That was beautiful, thank you. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Gorgeous, thank you, yeah. Boy, everything this morning, it's just been lovely. Yeah, thank you, Angelica. Thank you, Kathleen. Really beautiful. Last week, we talked about fear as energy, and that it can be used to our detriment, and a detriment to our growth, and a detriment to our happiness, destroying possibilities that we may otherwise have, or it can be a barometer, you know, and it can guide us to what really matters. It's like a wake up sometimes for what really matters to us. So we can let it stifle us or propel us. And the cool thing is the choice is ours. The choice is always ours. It's always ours. The trick then would be to be curious, to be courageously curious about those things that we tend to not want to look at in our lives. But when we look straight at it and investigate it with that open spirit like we did last week, things shift. Things just shift. You know, I love that first song, Phil, that we don't have to wait for possibly another chance. That at any moment we can have that chance. So fear's not the bad guy, just like we said last week, and Banti-san said the week before that. You know, it's not the bad guy. It's here to keep us safe. It's been employed as a tool for us. But we often will misread a situation, you know, because of those habitual reactions that we've cultivated within ourselves, right? And you all know what those are. Last week we had a good chance to look at what those were for those that were in the workshop. And statistically, scientifically, now they've proven that fear can actually block our availability to other options, you know? So we all crave that creative growth, that extreme, expansive feeling of getting beyond something, you know, and we crave creative and authentic connections within ourselves, with each other. That's a common thing. Ernest Holmes wrote about this. He called it the contagion of fear, which I love that idea, and I actually spoke about, I think, quite a bit during COVID. But he has a quote. He says, "I cannot help but believe that the divine mind, which certainly is present everywhere, is free from all fear." Right? The divine mind is free from all fear. There's nothing for God to be afraid of. And if we can and do tune into the thoughts of others, which we know we do, right? We know we do that. And if they can affect us, as they most certainly do, why shouldn't we learn to tune into the mind of God, which is free of that doubt and fear? So, not in an attempt to do that, but Bobby and I yesterday went to see the new Spider-Man movie. Yeah, we went and saw the new Spider-Man movie. Has anybody seen it? Only one in here? Really? Really? At home? Show of hands. Did you see it yet? Well, I thought it was really good, and I thought it was a great example of a contagion of fear. You know, any superhero movie really is that, you know, contagion of fear. And I don't normally go for the superhero movies, and but it had been recommended by my friend John Moore, and what he said in his newsletter is exactly my experience. I'm not used to going to superhero movies, and if I do, I don't cry, but I did. I did. I was very emotional, and Johnny said he did too. So, but the topic, what was infused in that movie, has so much connection to what we've been talking about, and what I want to bring forward this morning here, tie it into that Fear to Faith workshop that we had last week. Because there were 28 people from this community that stayed for that workshop last week. Phil was one of them. And And one of the exercises that we did was I had given everybody 3 stickies and said, write down your top 3 fears. These are your top fears, concerns, worries, top 3. And then I had placed 6 big poster sheets on the wall that had a heading to them. And those headings, those categories were relationships, health, finances, world events, daily pressures, and phobias, common phobias. I was a little surprised, I think, at where they were all, they weren't congregating, but where our thoughts congregate, that contagion, if you will, where they were. The majority of the stickies, 26 in fact, and we had 28 people in the room, so almost everybody in the room had a sticky with a fear or a concern around relationships. The second and the third most popular categories, they had 18 each, were directly linked to relationships. So those of you, when you were placing them, I don't know if you recognized that for yourself necessarily, but let me tell you, I had these all over the floor of my office this week, and I just continued to look at them and see what kept coming to me about them. And so it was daily pressures and health. Those were the other 2. So we had relationships, daily pressures, and health. And I feel like we did our own research study. I'm big on research studies, and I love statistics, and I love reading all that stuff. And we did it because 28 people is a good microcosm of this community. I think this community is a good microcosm of Western culture, you know? So it was a good little test that we did yesterday. And the findings really showed us our common universal need for connection. That is really what we saw. That's what I saw this week looking at my floor. That's what I saw. We don't fear things. We fear disconnection. We fear being alone. That's what was really resonating, I think. And there's a paradox in this also. A paradox found between what people actually wrote and what happens in life, I think. So on the stickies, what I read was fear of being alone, fear of estrangement from family, fear of not mattering, having anxieties around not being understood, not being accepted, fear of not belonging. One person wrote, intimacy is hard. Other stickies, not being good enough, not being competent enough. There were plenty, maybe 5 or 6, that had written fear of failure in one way or another. That was on the pressures of life. You see how fear of failure could come into that realm of relationships so easily? Social anxiety, fears of illness, chronic pain, cancer, and death. And underneath all of those, I think there's an enormous human anxiety. Will I be okay? Will I be alone? Will I be okay? Will I be alone? Or am I all alone? Fear tells us to pull away, to protect ourselves, that we don't need anybody, not to reveal. Don't reveal yourself to anyone. Don't risk being hurt or don't risk hurting. That's what fear's whispering. So Peter Parker, aka Spidey, he discovers without blowing the movie, because you can read this in the previews, that isolation doesn't protect people. Isolation doesn't protect you. It didn't protect Peter. It doesn't protect the people that we love and actually can hurt them. Right? And it didn't make him a better superhero either. I don't think it gives you the things that you want in life either. So for Peter, in fact, he becomes more effective as Spider-Man when he stops trying to be someone other than who he is. Right? That's a lesson for all of us. And herein lies a profound spiritual truth, really, or idea, spiritual idea to ponder. Fear isolates, love connects. Fear isolates and love connects. Yeah? And we become more fully ourselves when we're in relationship. And yet, we fear. So gazing at those worksheet stickies, I realized that the person afraid of failure may actually have a belief in not being enough. The person afraid of illness might have a fear of losing control, of becoming dependent on others, or being alone. Person afraid of death might not have a fear of simply death, but leaving or being left, or possibly living a life without meaning, or being alone. And the person experiencing social anxiety might have a fear of being rejected, judged as inadequate. And the person who wrote intimacy is hard, while they may be true, they're naming perhaps the most vulnerable fear of all, right? That if I let you really know who I am, will you still love me? Yeah. So there's not 6 separate categories that we had on the wall. You know? I don't think it is. I think we demonstrated how relational our fears can be, that social connection and loneliness are deeply connected, and we know that scientifically now. We know that in health studies. Physical and mental health, longevity, stress regulation, and mortality risk, all affected by connection and loneliness. Deeply so. Am I right, Dr. Chris? Yeah. As much so as one study from Harvard showed us, as much so as hunger and thirst. Wow. The human need, hunger and thirst, we have that need for connection. Yeah? In their study, they said that we use the same neural circuits, the study from Harvard, for social isolation and connection. We're using the same neural circuits for those needs that we have for food and water. It's the same pathways. It's the same pathways. And this is where Science Mind gets to take center stage in what we're talking about here. Because we know that we choose. We know that we choose our thoughts. We know that we choose, don't we? We forget sometimes, but we know that we choose. And we know that we choose the focus and then thereby the course that our energy is going to follow. This is amazing to me. That idea that that our need for connection and our habit of isolating is running the same lines in our brains that says, you need to go get a glass of water, and I'm hungry. Wow. Wow. Isn't that amazing? We are wired, people, for each other. We are wired for that deep connection. We're wired for it. And we also further know that we're wired for it, that it's good for us, because those hormones that are released in the connection when we're connecting with people is good for us. It's good for our bodies. And it decreases the stress hormones that we have. It's truly amazing how we're created, right? It's truly amazing. And Peter Parker knew this as well. He says, just because we've lost someone, it doesn't mean that we have to do this alone. So see, we have a tendency, if we've lost someone, that we're going to close off. Now we're alone. But he goes on and says, we can't. Trust me, I've been trying, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And here's how we know spiritually it doesn't work. Is because principle is not bound by precedent. It doesn't matter what has happened. It doesn't matter where you've been, what you've done, who was with you, and maybe not with you now. That doesn't matter to what is possible here, now, in this now moment. Another chance, there's another opportunity right here, now, in this breath. Universal and spiritual laws are not restricted, they're not limited, they're not dictated by what has happened to us in the past. Connection to one another, connection to ourselves, and connection with the divine, that's always available for us. So I shared in the workshop that my fear, why that workshop was so important to me, why that practice of fear to faith is so powerful for me, is because I had a belief in not enoughness. And I hadn't really recognized it, but that process helped me. And those kinds of ideas are so damaging to us and damaging to our relationships. Fear says, protect yourself, withdraw. You're on your own. And faith says, you're never alone. You're never on your own. And it doesn't tell us that there's not ever going to be anything bad that's going to happen. And it doesn't tell us that you're never going to get sick, that there'll never be a diagnosis. It doesn't tell us that your relationships will never be painful, because sometimes they are. But what it does tell us is you're not alone. You're never alone. You're never ever alone. You're not in this thing called life alone. And you're not meant to be in this thing called life alone. That's your nature, and it's the nature of the universe. So we can't avoid connections. We are it. We're in it. It's impossible to be separate. But let us remember that even in those messy relationships, when they don't feel good, when they seem imperfect or unlikely or they're difficult, maybe especially then, let us remember that we're wired to do this. And so when fear tells us to isolate, faith calls us into relationship. Let us remember that. When fear tells us that we're not enough, faith tells us we belong. There's no other way we can be. We're part of life. And when fear tells us to protect ourselves, to become smaller, love invites us to, I'm going to paraphrase Gerald May from last week, more awake, more alive, and wildly ourselves. That's your challenge, to be wildly yourself. Yeah. So I want to thank the 28 participants and the workshop last week for putting your fears on the wall because you wrote this talk. You wrote this talk. Because this is what you were really saying, is I want to belong. I want to matter. I want to be loved. And I want to be known. And so know this. I see you. I hear you. And I support your request with love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Make a promise to yourself to restore your a connection today, or make a connection today. And in that way, before you do your next song, Phil, I'm going to invite Hector up here to talk about making connections that way. Talk about making connections in a big way.
Yes, in a big way.
In a big way. In a wild way. What do you got to say about that, Hector?
Oh, a lot.
All right, you got a couple minutes.
A couple minutes. She means a couple of minutes. All right. A couple of years ago, some of us went to a convention in Charleston, South Carolina. Had a great time there. And while we were there, someone had approached me. It was actually Reverend Linda Rapond. Reverend Doctor or Reverend? Reverend Doctor. My bad. Yeah, Reverend Doctor. And we had a nice conversation. She is the chair of the CSL Member Council. And make a long story short, she asked me if I was interested in becoming a member of the Member Council. At the time, I had kind of a big commitment to my veterans group. I've kind of gotten away a little bit from that and turned my responsibilities over to somebody else, but it was helping homeless veterans and helping to prevent any future homeless veterans by helping them with rent, mortgages, getting into apartments, things like that. So it was a big commitment, so I wasn't able to become a part of the member council. Earlier this year, we were at Reno, Nevada. So Reverend Linda came up to me again and asked me if I wanted to talk about the member council. So I'm here, and I feel this. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. I pushed you.
She pushed me. She pushed me, and I'm like, okay, that was awesome. So, real quick, member council, who we are the member council. We represent the general CSL membership, giving them a voice in the organization and providing them with information and resources that enhance their personal engagement in their spiritual community. So in other words, they've got our back. And empower them to expand membership. So purpose to empower and unite our spiritual movement. And a few other things that they do. Yeah.
AKA connection.
Connections, yes, which is what we do. Community. Connections lead into community. And we do that pretty well. So I got a call a couple of weeks ago from Reverend Linda and said, we've got an opening on the member council and we'd like to speak to you about it. There's one other person. I said, okay. So I spoke to them. I was kind of interviewed by Reverend Linda and one of the members, Robert Leeds. So she said, we'll get back to you in a couple of weeks. And that was yesterday. And she said, welcome to the member council. Thank you. Thank you. So I may be calling on some of you for a little help or to for ideas. I'm always open to ideas. So it's a 2-year commitment. So I'm looking forward to it. So thank you.
Member council. He's going to meet a lot of people. And just remember the last thing, well, remember the whole thing that Theresa said, if you can, but the last thing she said was, go out and connect. Go out and touch some heart. And I just encourage you in this next song that you think about somebody that you have a connection with, somebody that they touch your heart and you touch theirs, or somebody that you wish you had a relationship with to do that. And I want you to think about what they bring or what that person or people would bring to you if you did have that relationship. And that's what this song is about, is what we bring to each other when we're going through stuff. So I encourage you, you could close your eyes and just think about that person. Just put the energy out on that person or people or group of people that you want to have a relationship with or that you do. I'm developing a new relationship myself with this men's group that Joa has formed for us, and it's awesome. It's just awesome. Guys don't get to do this. Laurel's been doing it with her women's group for years, and every time they go, I think, oh man. But just think about, don't worry about what we haven't done. Just think about what that can be as you hear the words of this song. When I am down, oh my soul so weary, when troubles come, my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. There is no life without its hunger. Each restless heart beats so imperfectly, but then you come and I am filled with wonder. Sometimes I think I glimpse eternity. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulder. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Oh, was lovely. Thank you, Phil. This is our opportunity to give back to this ministry, to give back to this place that we come to be nurtured, to be fed, to be inspired, to be maybe nudged a little bit out of our comfort zone, to be invited to be more than we can be, perhaps, or to just be. However it is, we welcome you and we encourage you to keep coming back. We enjoy having you here as part of this wonderful community. And now it's our opportunity to give back to that through our contributions. Online, those of you who are joining us online virtually, there's information about how to do that scrolling now on your screen. We'll pass a basket here, or if you are giving through your automatic checking or what have you, however you're giving your gift, I just invite you to bring it now into your heart space, whether virtually or right here, right now, and just invite the essence of your love and your gratitude to be imbued in this gift. And know that this gift doesn't just support this community, it goes out to do the work of this community in the world through our ministries, through our tithes to organizations here in Sarasota. So this is a ripple effect as you cast this gift into the waters of good. It is rippling out into the world in a magnificent way. So thank you for that. We so appreciate your gift and know that it does go forth to do its perfect work in, through, and as each one. And so it is. And now we invite you to join us in our offering affirmation song.
I receive the gift of life, pass it on. I receive the gift of love, pass it on. I receive the gift of joy, pass it on. I receive all good, pass it on. I receive the gift of life, pass it on. I receive the gift of love, pass it on. I receive the gift of joy, pass it on. I receive all good, pass it on. I receive the gift of life, pass it on. I receive the gift of love, pass it on. I receive the gift of joy, pass it on. I receive all good, pass it on.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Reverend Diana Escobar, and I have some announcements. If you're first time with us, please see me or one of the greeters. We'd love to get to know you, welcome you, and we have a gift for you. And please sign up for the newsletter. The newsletter is on the back table, or you could sign up in Facebook as well. And our regular weekly events, the Spiritual Living Circle is on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock, and my Heart, Mind, and Spirit Recovery meetings on Friday. And so thank you, and Reverend Theresa has some more announcements to give.
Thanks, Reverend Diana. Just a couple things. One is two special announcements. One is Diana Wyatt and Frankie Taylor, also known as Crooked Feathers when they're performing, had committed to doing a concert to raise money for us. The really great news is that has now stretched into, I'm going to say, at least 3 concerts to raise money for our new CSL home. So the first one, was at Streets of Paradise a few weeks back. We did, and we raised $1,200 that night, $600 for us and $600 for Streets of Paradise. It was a fabulous evening. Phil and Bobby were involved in that. It was just a great evening. And then there was a second one that is scheduled for this coming Saturday night, May 22nd, and it's sold out. August. Yeah, it was in May that they picked the date, and it's sold out immediately. It's like been sold out since May. Before Dan and I even had the opportunity to market it, so most of you didn't even ever know about it. But the good news is that we've got a third date now scheduled, and that date is November 7th. It's a Saturday. It's actually the Saturday, the night before our annual meeting. So I think that's really fun. I love that idea that it's the night before our annual meeting. And it'll be at Lisa Lazard's house, and we'll give you more information. As soon as we have all that information, Dan will put it in the breeze. We will let you know. It'll probably be in this Thursday's newsletter. And then if you've not been to either of the other two, you want to make sure you get right in there so you can be at this third one. And I just, from the deepest part of my heart, want to thank Diana and Frankie for all that you give to this community. We are connected. We know that connection piece. And then another announcement is our CSL member, Pat Reddy, here is doing an estate sale on Saturday, August 29th. So the last Saturday in this month, August 29th. And so you can talk with Pat about that and get the address, or maybe next week we'll have some little sheets with your address on it or something like that. We weren't prepared today with that. And then just to remind you that Kathleen's going to be the practitioner of the day, so if you'd like one-on-one prayer support, please see her over here. And any practitioner wearing a stole, which I think she's the only one with her stole on today, but that's always the thing to look for, is their stoles, and they'll be happy to pray with you. And make sure you stay for coffee and conversation. Make sure that you make a connection. And Phil's got a closing song for us. And I love you.
And a bit of an addendum to the fundraising events. If you don't want to wait until November for the third one, there's actually going to be a second and a half one in September. On September 13, right here in this place, Laurel and I are going to do a concert of poetry and original music, and it's for the benefit of CSL. So we've got four concerts coming up. Don't miss them. It's not a half a concert, but it comes in between the second and the third one. So, okay, this is different. I want you guys to get into this, okay? Because if you don't, I'm gonna be real embarrassed, okay? Because I haven't done this before, and everybody knows this. So here we go. Here's a little song I wrote. Might wanna sing it notes, but don't worry. Let's stand. Be happy. Every life will have some trouble. When you worry, you make it double. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Ooh, 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 ooh. Everybody knows it. Ooh, 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 ooh. When you worry, your face will frown. That'll bring everybody down. So don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Ooh, 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 ooh. Again. Ooh, 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 ooh. Now let's see if we can get into this one. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. What? Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Rose up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds at my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying this is a message for you. Okay, all together. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Saying don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Yes!